It begins quietly. No one notices at first. You're 8 years old, carrying books that feel heavier than they should. Not because of weight, but because inside you already feel old. You stay quiet at dinner. You help with chores no one asked you to. You smile when you're tired. You listen when you want to be heard. And without knowing why, a decision is made deep inside you. If I don't act like an adult, no one will. This is how childhood ends before it ever begins. Not with birthdays or broken toys, but with responsibility that never belonged to you. They call you mature. They call you wise beyond your years. Teachers admire you. Relatives praise you. You're the one who never causes trouble, the one who keeps it together, but no one ever asks, at what cost? Because what the world sees as maturity often hides a deep, invisible loss. The cost of skipping over innocence, the cost of becoming useful instead of simply being. This is the grief of the too mature child. Psychologists call this adultification. When a child is pushed subtly or directly into roles meant for adults, sometimes it's parentification. When you're forced to care for siblings or soothe a parent's pain, sometimes it's emotional adultification. When you become the listener, the peacemaker, the steady one everyone leans on. It sounds like praise at first. It looks like responsibility. But underneath, it's pressure. Because a child who learns to act like an adult too early is a child who quietly abandons their own needs. And what does that do? It rewires their nervous system. It teaches you that love is conditional and that safety must be earned. The play is dangerous and the rest is irresponsible. So you grow into the helper, the fixer, the one who never complains, and you wear the role so convincingly that even you forget it's a mask. But deep down, something aches, a longing you can't quite name. Maybe it shows up as exhaustion that never goes away. Maybe it's the way you feel guilty when you rest. Maybe it's the hollow space that follows every achievement because no accomplishment ever feels enough. Or maybe it shows up in silence, in the way you can't ask for help without feeling like a burden, in the way you minimize your pain because you don't want to take up space, in the way you keep saying, "I'm fine," even when you're not. This is the cost of being too mature. You carry the weight of adulthood before you even knew what childhood felt like. You learn to hide your needs so no one else feels uncomfortable. You learn to control your feelings so no one else gets upset. You learn to perform stability so no one else has to worry. And when you finally become an adult, you don't feel free. You feel older than your years. You become the friend who listens but never speaks, the partner who gives but never asks, the employee who works harder than anyone but still feels undeserving. Why does this happen? Because as children, we will do anything for belonging. If acting grown-up wins approval, we trade play for performance. If responsibility wins us a smile, we trade freedom for control. That's not weakness, that's survival, that's intelligence. But what saved you then traps you now. The too mature child grows into an adult who apologizes for needing help, who feels shame when they cry, who treats love like a job description. They might overwork to earn validation, They might struggle to rest because stillness feels unsafe. They might hide joy because joy feels fragile, temporary, and suspicious. And sometimes they don't even notice it because when survival patterns become normal in childhood, they carry into adulthood silently, invisibly. You think, this is just who I am, but it's not. It's you. It's who you become to survive. The tragedy is this: everyone praises the mature child, so responsible, you're so independent, you're so put together. But no one realizes that underneath the praise is a child who never got to stumble, to cry, to play without consequence. And that child is still in you, waiting, wondering, and asking, why did I have to grow up so fast? So, what does healing look like? It begins with your permission. The permission to rest, the permission to be messy, and the permission to be seen not as useful but as human. It begins with grieving the birthdays where no one noticed you wanted to be celebrated too, grieving the moments when you had to hold others together while falling apart inside, grieving the years of responsibility you carried that never should have been yours. This isn't about becoming immature, it's about reclaiming what was lost: the laughter, the softness, the curiosity, and the right to not have all the answers. Healing doesn't mean throwing away your maturity, it means balancing it. It means learning that you can be wise and playful, responsible and cared for, strong and soft. Carl Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." For the too mature child, this means peeling off the mask of responsibility and rediscovering the self that was silenced. And no, it won't be easy. There will be days when resting feels wrong, when asking for help feels unbearable, when play feels pointless. But that's the work, that's the relearning, because you were never broken, you were only rushed. The too mature child becomes an adult who often looks put together on the outside but secretly wonders when someone will notice they are tired. They wonder when someone will ask if they are okay. They hope that maybe one day they'll get to fall apart and still be loved. But here's the truth: no one is coming to give you that permission. It has to come from you. You are the one who must go back for the child you left behind. You are the one who must say the words you needed most. You didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You should rest now. So, if you recognize yourself in this story, know this: your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice, but now you do. You can choose softness. You can choose laughter. You can choose to sit down the weight that was never yours to carry, because the child inside you is still waiting, and it's never too late to finally come home to them.